Alright guys, we have 3.10 going to wave 1. If you're a subscriber, if you're concierge, if you're, one of the lucky people, then obviously you will be able to go through and update and guys, look, just a hint, I like to put hints in my videos. If you have 3.9.1 on the live folder, copy and paste it. It's only a 7 gig update. You're going to save yourself downloading the whole 40 or 50 gig, okay? So just copy your live folder, rename the copy to PTU, or if you already have the PTU as 3.9.1, just simply hit the update button. It's only a 7 gig update. It's not a 50 or so gig update. It'll be a lot faster for you. So let's jump into it. Let's read these patch notes because they are 3 pages long. I'm going to need a drink for this. Alright, let's jump into it. So, PTU has been released to Wave 1 and is now available to testers. Recommended. Delete user folder. I don't know how many times I have to say this. And so many people come to me and say, I have a problem with my patch notes. I have a problem with my game being buggy. And I say, have you deleted your user folder? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, do that. And then they seem to have no more problems. So, delete user folder, guys. It is very important. Delete the user folder. If you do have a HOTAS, just export those settings and then re-import them once you've deleted it, right? Your starting credit is 50,000 UEC. And for some reason, my face rig keeps playing up, but we'll see how we go. Please monitor SE testing chat in Spectrum for updates and testing instructions. That's new. Testing focus. Ship flight in and out of atmosphere. Oh, we are going to do this. We are going to be streaming this later today, guys. In fact, booting up the stream rig now. Update building block ship UI for all flyable ships. High-speed combat changes. Turret gameplay. Origin M50 improvements. Electron FPS weapons and damage. Body dragging, citizen trading app, new target mythology, delivery mission improvements. There's a lot of good stuff in this patch. I don't know if it's going to last us 3 months, but there's a lot of good stuff. Known issues. Attempting to perform an orbital QT to Levski from orbit will instead direct the player to origin at orbital QT speed. Player to origin. So point of origin maybe at original QT speed. Players are not able to join friends PU instances from the main menu. Okay, that's a bit of a bug. All 3D icons in personal inventory don't appear correct when in the when in the PTU maybe. Seems to be a few mistakes here. Landing gear will take multiple presses of the keybind to activate. When leaving and exiting spline in some large ships, the ships will not re-enter the spline correctly and fall towards the planet without returning control to the player. That could be a bug. Yeah. Security scans won't recognize drugs on board a player's ship during the drug production run missions. That doesn't sound like a bug to me. That sounds like a benefit. Just saying, drug missions are definitely going to be on for this patch. The ship hologram 3D model will take over... will take over 20 seconds to load on the first time the player views a VMA or the Arena Commander menus. The Area 18 nav marker will appear at the central plaza, not the spaceport. Okay. Legally landed ships may be impounded. Oof, okay. Multi-tool in the Crusher Prison Commissary does not come with an orbit mining attachment. We've had this bug for like 2 patches now, like COG. Like, what really is going on there? If the player exits to menu, disconnects, crashes during the prison loadout screen with the transitional loadout will not be changed. We've also had that for like 2 patches now. What's going on there? Players may get stuck in a loading screen when leaving prison or respawning. Players may get stuck on a prison loading screen if sent back to prison a second time without clearing their crime stat. When going into ADS and crouch prone, you're unable to see through the optic scopes on the arrowhead or the P6LR. Free look does not always work properly in turrets. Turrets ignore power settings. That sounds like a benefit, not a bug. Players may fall out of turrets and clip through the geometry when exiting them with a female model. Okay, guys, so use the male models for now. Workaround, avoid choosing the female model for now. But I like the ass on it. Turret projectiles and fixed weapons fire slightly desynced, so hits may not register, but do. Okay, cool. Exiting and ramp turret from the pilot seat will active free look for the pilot. Press C to deactivate free look and continue normally. Player will be unable to control the movement of the Super Hornet using mouse controls after exiting the remote turret. Instead, use interaction mode. Okay. Yeah, anyway. New features. So, character. Added Mobiglass variants. Adding initial implementation of Mobiglass variants, which gives the player ability to switch out their Mobiglass for another one with the various colours. Players will be able to purchase these in-game in the new factory line in the new Babbage on Microtech. That's that factory shop that was closed off previously. They've added helmet visor wiping, which is really, really cool. The action lets a player wipe their visor clear when it's become too obstructed by snow, rain, or moisture. This action is available through the default key binding, which is left shift Z, or through the inner thought menu. AI. NPC bartender improvements. With this addition of the bartender for the persistent universe, we're introducing the standard that all future vendors will be built from. The job of the bartender is to serve drinks to many bar patrons of the persistent universe. They can take orders from the player and serve anything from the bottled or from the fridge or from the draft beer from tap. That makes the handcrafted whiskey, cola in front of their customers and serves it. When not serving drinks, bartenders will be seen keeping their work environment tidy by wiping down counters, dispersing bottles and polishing glasses, and chatting with Patreons dynamically. This includes updates to NPC in bars so they walk up to the bartenders and order a drink and able to use tables while drinking. Currently be updated bartenders are in Grimhex, Lorville, Levski, and in New Babbage. This is huge, guys. This is the assumptive AI that we keep hearing about. This is huge. This is really, really big for Star Citizen. People kept going on about bartenders. Like, oh, why are we getting the bartenders? And my argument was always, whenever I heard this, was it's a training module. It's a training AI to be more interactive. And it's going to be amazing when it comes out. And a few people understood what I was saying. But a few people didn't. But yeah, this is huge. This is absolutely huge because this model, once copied from the bartender, will be put into all the ship kiosks AIs. And obviously there'll be different assumptive things they'll have to learn. But like, for example, your weapons store cleaner, your weapons shop seller, he'll be doing the same. He'll be cleaning down his bench, tidying papers, talking to customers, stuff like that. So, and then eventually this AI assumptive tech can be given to all the AIs. So, they won't be just standing there, T-posing, for example. They might be going through and doing their chores. They might be going to work. They might be going to the bar to have a drink. They'll know instinctively what time it is. It's like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. I've got to go to work. So they'll head off to work. And then after work, they'll be like, oh, it's after work. This is what the AI will do. It'll be like, I can go to the bar. So then they'll go to the bar and have some drinks. And it'll be a fully immersive system. Now, obviously, that'll be later down the track. But that's what they want to do with it. It is absolutely huge that they got this right. And we have to see it yet. I haven't played it. I haven't jumped into the game yet. But it's hugely important that works. That is a huge step for interaction in the world of Star Citizen. Cover usage version 1. Expanding the tactical section of the NPC's human combat to analysis environment detected in absence of full cover, possible portions where they can engage enemies without being fully exposed to them. This includes such as small crates, which will potentially provide partial cover. Shotgun assault tactics. So added the ability to combat AI to engage in players using a wide variety of weaponry. react dynamically to both players' behaviors and environment, and engage strategically and realistically. Gameplay. Player trading app. We're introducing the first iteration of the player trading app into the mobiGlas. This first implementation will allow players to immediately send in-game UEC and merits to other players regardless if they have online or offline, or if they're on a different server, and will be required to percentage tax for the transfer amount to be processed. I think it was like 5%. Body dragging. Adding the initial functions to allow players to interact with dead and unconscious characters and move them. Whilst an actor is dragging, they can equip, use a holster one weapon, a hand weapon, i.e. pistols and knives, and dragging characters holds the victim with their left hand and the right hand free. So you drag with your left, your right hand will have the gun, so you'll have the pistol, the knife, whatever it may be. Thruster effect curves, jerks, and aerodynamics. Thruster effect curves drastically change the way thrusters work, and drifting in atmosphere. In the atmosphere of our thrusters now lose efficiency and become much weaker. We were actually talking about this on Cobra's stream one day. This is dependent on the ship and the thruster type to some degree, but ships are much more weaker when in atmosphere and cannot fly in the maneuverable way they used to. Aerodynamics. Ships now have the individually simulated aerodynamic surface that contributes vast little forces of the motion of the ship. The result of both are much more realistic and enjoyable to fly, and is significantly more detailed in simulation. Expect loss of subtle, unique flight characteristics per ship that give them a lot more character. Ships with wings are now able to stall. Okay. Do level turns, lose speed in tight turns, and a various fancy aerodynamic features. The aerodynamic interaction with wind is now more detailed and expected wind to push or pull on a ship that is more complex way. Ship aerodynamics will now change as you switch between configurations. Breakable parts now affect the aerodynamics, so break off wings and the ships will not fly straight anymore. So basically what that means is that your ship takes damage, your ship may curve to the left, curve to the right. It's going to affect how it flies in atmosphere, which is cool. Jerk. This is a core change to how ships move, both in ship and in atmosphere, that makes them much more smoother and feel more weighty. Jerk is a measure on how quickly the ship's acceleration change, and previous it was infinite. Now it's finite quality. That means thrusters do not respond immediately to change in acceleration. Expect weightier feeling ships, but with similar levels of maneuverability. That's one thing one of my mates who's a big elite player has always said, right? And big shout out to him if he's still in my Discord and we still chat from time to time. I'm expecting he's probably going to be on today, actually. But I was going to say, but he always used to say that the ships in Elite Dangerous feel a lot more weighty than they do in Star Citizen. This should be a fix for that. And I have heard this a few times too. So that should be, quite impressive. Electron damage. The new damage type that consists of energy, distortion, and stunning. When target is hit with electrons, they become charged, and if the target receives a second hit while charged, it creates an electron detonation that can chain to nearby enemies. The size of this detonation depends on the initial subset damage value on the target. So what I think that means is at the end of the day, if, say, your energy rifle has like 1,000 level power setting, or 9,000, and 4,000 goes into that first player to kill him, then the other 5,000 will branch off to other people. So I think that's how it works. High-speed combat. So ship systems will now suffer the consequences of traveling at high speeds, restricting some of the options that players will have at maximum velocity, which will push players into engage at lower speeds. When flying above SCM speeds, Weapon accuracy, gimbal accuracy, speed, and missile lock speed will be negatively affected. While you will still be able to lock onto a target for missiles above SCM, missile firing can now only occur while flying below SM speed. So you won't be able to fire your missiles or torpedoes or whatever if you're above SCM speed. So new target mythology. Fundamental charges to targets are tracked on and off your screen with UI updates to improve the visibility of locked, tracked, and pinned targets, which include the new UI from TVI, pip indicator, and range indicator, firing indicator, assisted gimbals, and fixed gun sights. New UI for the targets include the return of the Oriental style brackets, Oriental arrows, the motion ribbons that may of which are able to be turned on or off of the game options, new target and target section flow. Unselect targets should no longer display markers around them. Automatically selection of the best target type on your view clone selects methods as how is now how a combination close to the center of the cone, distance, and hostility. So there's like a new UI that works out how it works out. A new, like an algorithm sort of thing that tells you how to which is the best target. One selected target can be locked, pinned. Locked targets can display actions, targeting information, distance, ribbon trail, direction. Unlocking targets that move off screen outside of a cone loses the selection and the new target is selected, hostile, friendly. All targets within the forward cone can be cycled as well. Lock targets that can move off screen outside a cone retail their selection. Pin targets are displayed to the members of the ship's channel. All states of lock pin have different radicals, show they are different states. Okay, so you'll have different colors or different markers, whatever, to show different size, like different if it's pinned or if it's just locked or whatever it may be. If you've got someone that's locked on, you'll have a little bit of information about what they're doing. If they're pinned, you won't have to worry about keeping them locked on. You'll still be able to see them. But if they're locked on, it seems like you're going to miss. If you don't keep them in that locked range, then you're going to lose all that detailed information. That's what it seems like to me. So, yeah, sounds pretty cool. So with this new targeting system, there are quite a few changes to keybinds and options. Players might want to familiar themselves with the new options in the keybinding menu. This includes, but is not limited to, locked focus target, tap 1, tap nearest attack, a target who has locked, target nearest attacker, target who has you locked, tap 2. Pin current selected target, tap 3. Cycling pin target, forward, tap 4. And back, tap 5. Cycling sub-target, tap 6. And back, tap 7. Resetting sub-target is tap 8. And removing all pin targets is 0. Players can also pin the targets to a specific place on the pin target list by holding Alt and the hash key. So that would be Shift hash maybe, or Alt 3 maybe, and enabling tap to lock the whole pin. Okay, so there's a lot of new key bindings, guys. You're going to have to familiar yourselves with them. Ships and vehicles. They've added the P-52 Archimedes Emerald. They've added the ship paints to in-game shops. I want to see those. Adds to game purchasable ships in Gameverse. They're purchased with the in-game UEC from Dumpers Depot. Okay. And Omega Pro shops, and can be applied using the ship's loadout manager and mobiGlas. Do keep in mind there is that bug where it's taking a fair bit of time for the ships to first come up. So keep that in mind too. They mentioned it up here. Load somewhere up here anyway. It was basically saying it could take up to 5 minutes or so to come through the first time, so keep that in mind. Weapons and items. New FPS weapons is the Laser Bolt Company sniper rifle. The Accurate is a unique pistol precision sniper rifle from Laserbolt Co. The change handle is engaged. It accurately fires a charged electron to deal significantly energy damage and spreads to nearby conductive targets. This special pulse effect also leaves a residual charge in the strike area that increases damage delivered by subsequent electron shots. Alongside the rifle's special firing capabilities, the best known for a distance barrel that cracks with energy when powering its next shot. Currently, this is acquired at Scutters in Grimhex. Okay, definitely going to Grimhex today, guys. After this video goes up, we are going to be playing Star Citizen. So tune into the live stream. Twitch is on the link here, right here. No, it's not. I have to add Twitch. But yeah, it's this Gamerscaf. Gamers_Gaff. So we have the FPS pistol, which is scratches the surface of the distant pistol. Former Merc turned weapon manufacturer oversaw an unexpected weapon built-in power periodically and features a classic wood grain grip and cutting-edge barrel design. Fires electron shot that impact is not only your target but amplifies the target with each hit, but can spread to additional conductive targets in the range. We also have the 54 ballistic SMG, which is easy to handle beyond the behold of its styling. The 54 is a sleek and precisely balanced SMG from Gemini. It's a lightweight polymer frame and ergonomic design makes it ideal for close quarter engagement. The 54 is capable of firing 10mm rounds on full auto to provide maximum support and target saturation to ensure that engagement ends quick. Cortec, day-night temperate changes on planets, so do keep in mind it will be colder at night. I also think there was some mention that hasn't been on here yet about being able to use PIYs to hide from the damage, from the cold and stuff. So introducing a new mechanic to planets that causes temperature to rise and fall with day-night cycles. This means that planets should be warmer during the day and cooler during the night. Something that we have tested in the past and realized wasn't working. So, if you go to Daymar, maybe not time. Featured updates. Locations. Grimhex version 2. These updates to make Grimhex a more completed landing zone. The main changes including new locations based with Altarian hangars accessible by the main hub. This includes 2 large and 1 extra large hangar to allow larger ships to land. High-tech hangars. Full replacement of the current new Babbage hangars to the new high-tech hangars. New Babbage shop additions, introducing the new shops to Babbage, such as the Novator kiosk and the new Babbage Spaceport interior, which will sell souvenirs and knickknacks. Okay, cool. Also coming to the Spaceport's the factory line, the flagship store for Microtech, which sells their top of their line products, such as Mobiglass variants, SimPods, and new Microtech hacking chip. Other various computer-related items. Pin redrop highlight height map quality updates. So the update made all height maps used on the planets to Moon to make fly take advantage of their higher resolution. This means that more detail can be utilized during the painting process. This includes a full location redrop to make sure all landing zones, derelicts and underground facilities and outposts are set correctly upon the updated environments. Ocean shader improvements, adding support for in-game oceans to react to flares and local lights using screen space and cube map reflection. Updating shaders to include a finessel component and subsurface scouring term and the new shader features to enhance the realism of the ocean with the improved refraction and additional detailed layers. Added the ability for oceans to react to winds, conditions, and increase or decrease wave turbulence. Look, I know it's kind of like who cares, but it's going to add to the realism of the game, right? So, ocean shader improvements, yay. Quantum mineable unique visible material? Huh? This is a visual change to quantum nodes to give it a new unique material that will differ from other minables. Okay. Added additional LEDs to Port Alizar's landing pads and rings to help with the asset popping in and out at distance. Added commodity inventory to outposts around Microtech. And added new ships to inventories and Astra Armada, New Deal, and Teacher's Ship Shop. Okay. So, oh my god, we've still got more? God damn. Alright, let's keep going. Gameplay, delivery mission improvements. We have an overhaul of the delivery mission in-game, which includes creating a mini drop of the delivery missions of drug running missions. Prison missions. We have added missions that repair broken oxygen dispensers for merit. These missions will trigger periodically as oxygen kiosks in the prison caves will break over time and signal that they need repairs. When a player accepts and completes the mission, they will be rewarded with merits. Law system, empowered improvements. We're introducing new changes to the impounding mechanics currently presented in-game. When blocking a landing pad on vehicles without permission, a message will appear on the visor of the UI for all players aboard it, which includes a timer that will count down until the vehicle is impounded. Do keep in mind at the moment they are impounding ships that are legally landing. It is a bug, but that is happening as well. Restricted area version 2. We've reworked the restricted areas around the spaceport so they now have landing splines to guide you in. I really want to get into this patch. I really, really do. That allows you to land your ship, and when you request landing and takeoff, you'll be required to fly down the assignal tunnel. HUD rework, rebuilding our ship HUDs to use the new building blocks UI system ahead of the further redesign and look of the UI. This includes the update to the design of the total velocity indicator and rework center targeting UI. Is not currently in for ground vehicles and comes with a future update. Okay. Turret usability improvements. Turrets have undergone a slew of changes increasing their usability. Turrets have now fixed... Alright, we've already read most of that, so we're going to skip that, but just want to get into the game. Update ship control settings. We have made updates to the default ESP setting. ESP radius and dampening effect now customizable in the options menu. We've added additional VJoy visibility and function settings to the option menu. Updates to Star Marine and score and wreck conversions. So score kills in Star Marine have been doubled to 200, increasing the score limit from elimination to 5,000 up to 3. So increase the score limitation. For elimination to 5,000 up 3,000. Yep, okay. And adjusted the score rec to conversion due to these changes. They've moved the personal inner thought back page arrows in the middle of the greatly increased the reward payouts for doing Twitch Potato missions. ECM bounty hunters and escort missions rewards should now scale better. And added underground facility missions and Microtech and its moons, which is cool. I really like that idea. Ships and vehicles, they've added the M50 improvements, which is updates to M50 improvements experience, including landing gear, compression, update to bring the new damage system, cockpit improvements, and update to UI mechanics. The viable armor values have returned to ships. We've set up some minor armor valuations to ships. Ships designed to take punishment will now have slightly higher damage resistance. Okay. Stealth ships will have a significant reduction in armor at the cost of some damage resistance. Cool. We've been waiting for armor to come into the ships. Drake Buccaneer QOL update. So in-flight fuel tanks have no longer fall off randomly with Sing energy detachments. Okay, Drake Caterpillar quality of life. Weapons change from 4 size 2 with a size 1 installed to 2 size 3 with size 2 installed. Okay, Caterpillar packs quite a punch. Turrets update to be used size 2, size 4, 2 size 4s mounted, and 1 size 3 remote. Okay, cool. The Anvil Gladiator, quality of life. Increased turret from size 2 to size 3. Increased turret weapons from size 2 to size 3. Default weapons change from gimbaled size 2 to fixed size 3. The Scout, the Ijan Scout, quality of life. Updated flight performance. Weapon hardpoints increase from size 3 to size 4. Default equipment will change from fixed size 2 to gimbal size 3. Weapons and items. The mass drivers, size 1 to 3. Ship weapons rework. Cool. Visual objects of the series. Yep. Okay. Increase the overheat threshold of the size 5 for the landing bringer M72 laser cannons. Tech core. Increase the ship cold distance to help with ships visually popping in and out. They've also weapon impact sparks will now be directed by wind. Okay. So major bug fixes. We're almost there, guys. I knew this was going to be a half-an-hour video. Authorized execution warrant missions from Hurston should no longer reward the player with a homicidal crime stat. After the first wave of enemies at the patrol beacon should now constantly move to the next patrol area. Perfect. Fixed an issue that was causing NPCs to start in place on a seat around the PU. So stand in place on seats, sorry. Cool. I've heard that before though. Glass in the aero view hangar should no longer be heavily obscured by scratches when looking out of the upper room. Cool. Fix the Mustang being able to equip Series 2 quantum drives. Fixed an audio element of the Carrack thrusters, so it should no longer extensively loud to players inside the ship. AI should no longer regularly go into relaxed aim stance during combat. Fixed ADS, or aiming down sights position on FPS weapons to be centered so that crosshairs line up for bullet firing. Fixed an issue causing some mission descriptions to display locations to destinations, local addresses, or pick up in the description. Ships with vehicles will no longer hurt themselves when firing the EMP weapons. Weapons locker on the 890 Constellation Vanguard Sentinel Carrack should now be persist weapons when the ship is stored and reviewed. Oh, fantastic. Cool. Weapons lockers on the... so fixed an issue called the physics bottles to spam audio effects in the player's habs. Fixed an issue that called physicalized bottles to spam audio. I don't know about that, but anyway. Hangar 2 in the Curl L2 rest stop should now be accessible via elevator. We noticed that in the last patch. Starfire Gemini should no longer spawn the interior damage state active when the ship is full health. There should no longer be a 5 to 7 delay when firing torpedoes on the Eclipse. Players will no longer become trapped in the Origin 600 kitchen table after sitting down and standing up in front of the kitchen chairs. Fixed mission areas of gravity on the surface of Delamar. They fixed 5 client crashes and 1 server crash. And that is it. Holy dooly CIG. Okay, guys, look, we are just going to jump into it. If you've enjoyed this video, smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. I'm sorry this took so long. I want to go through all the patch notes because there is a lot there and it is important. But guys, obviously, Noobifire and all will be doing a shorter version of it, but this is the full version. But guys, yeah, look, come and join me on Twitch, gamers_caf. I will fix my little thing here on the side so it does have my Twitch link. But guys, apart from that, obviously, yeah, come and check us out. And apart from that, guys, I will see you in the universe. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Smack that like button. Welcome to the channel. We'll see you in the verse.